I make a motion to approve the previous court minutes with corrections. As presented.
Second.
All in favor? All right, in-precinct project schedule and staffing. Okay.
Working on roads. Kind of hard, no rain.
We are preparing to mill the parking lot.
That's what I was
I knew
hoping you were
that's
gonna
what-
say.
I knew that was coming.
All right, good deal. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else?
You're welcome.
All right.
I got a call from a lady at the walking trail. I called now.
Mhm.
There was a dead deer on it. Somebody tore up the door to the lady's bathroom.
Yeah, the door has been repaired and he moved that dead deer. I think, it had jumped the fence and, broke its neck.
Crashed.
So,
Was it, those doors repaired yesterday?
yes.
So she called me at 7:15 when she was out there.
Yeah, I got a call on it the day before. And that is coming along nicely. We have a few things left to do out there. Matt is furiously trying to get that all taken care of. And if you're available July 5th, come out there and either walk, run, or ride a bike. It's gonna be fun. 8 o'clock in the morning.
Gonna burn my gate.
Right in the parking lot there. No gas vehicles.
Okay.
All right, accepting donations to county entities. We have 4 of them. For the golf course, it's 2 but 1. PSI and ROE would like to donate a pavilion out there. Each $30,000 donations. They would be putting it up themselves. Is that your understanding, Bill?
Yes.
Would we be tearing down the old one? Putting it in its place, or?
No, they're gonna build from ground up, right?
Where the old pool was, that's where they want to build it, in that area.
Oh, we talked about tearing down the old one some time ago. It's in pretty bad shape. One's got the screens on it.
Mhm.
I didn't know if that was gonna be something you was looking to do.
PSI. $30,000 each. And then, yeah, the library has multiple donations. Mostly checks, or all checks, except for DVDs and magazines. And then the senior center did well with May Day. Over $45,000.
Hmm.
Include above, it's over $46,000. So these are all the donations.
Make a motion to accept the donation to county entities as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Well, since the entire sheriff's department here, we're gonna go ahead
Yeah, we're
and.
gonna speed this up.
We'll go-
Can I leave? No. No.
I'll check a warrant.
Go ahead and try.
Go ahead and try it. So we'll do the introduction of the new chief deputy for the sheriff's department.
Okay, I just want to take a few minutes to introduce and announce, Josh Key is going to be taking over the duties of chief deputy for the office. We're excited about that. He's bringing a lot of, investigative experience, which is a positive. We've already put it to use, unfortunately, several times. But he's gonna be a great addition for us coming into the office, and we're excited about that. Haley Guajardo, stand up there. She started yesterday. I just swore her in a while ago. She's one of our new deputies, just so everybody, I'm sure y'all probably, she's coming to us from the police department, so everybody's probably familiar with her. Josh came from Ellis County and then to come back here recently, so, but these are our 2 additions. We're still needing to hire 1 deputy, but just to put a name to a face and in the positions. So this is number 2 right here. If y'all need anything, reach out to him, and probably maybe start with him instead of me. That would be great. So, other than that, I just want to announce them and make everybody aware that they're coming on board and where everybody's going to be. So we appreciate them coming in. So thank you all very much. Thanks for coming. This is Haley's family came with her, so just want to say thank y'all. Welcome aboard and officially, and we can all go to work now, so.
We're glad to have y'all both. It's good to see you back.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good to see you coming over. And we've set aside 20 minutes for your speech.
I'll get back with you. Maybe next time.
Can you go 20 minutes last lunch? Is that
Yeah, that's right. That's all I have. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Glad to have y'all.
Sir?
I need to get a picture real quick.
Okay, all right, who do you need?
Y'all too. And
Yeah, come on.
Over here, come on.
So you get the 14? Okay.
Come on, Sean.
Here we go.
That's the hair. Chad, see if we know us to move. You better crop it.
Thank you.
Now, Chad, get one from right here.
Arms roll high.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Appreciate you.
I know.
No, you're
All right, we'll move on to Butler Cohen's request for a 60-day no-cost time extension on the EMS building. Ryan?
Yes, sir. So as most of y'all are aware, we had some issues with the concrete from the batch plant, not making its strength. We went through all the proper steps with the testing lab and took the proper precautions to not move forward with that same mix design until we made sure that we were confident that it would make strength. We then went to a different batch plant and the concrete has had no problems. Even I think at the 3-day break, we were over 75% strength. So we're past that now, but because of that and taking the precautions we did, the foundation being one of the most important things to a building, that has caused about a 60-day delay in the project. We're just asking for a no-cost extension to make sure from a contractual standpoint, we're all in good standings with our original completion date and where this has set us back to. But things are moving great. Steel's going up. All the other things are looking like they're going in the right direction. So it's just one of those things we run into in this industry. Any questions? Fairly straightforward, but appreciate it.
We get daily reports from them and meet with them monthly, and they have just been fantastic to work with so far.
You need a motion for that?
Need a motion, yes, sir.
I'll make the motion, we give the 60-day no cost time extension on the EMS building to Butler and Cohen Construction.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Appreciate y'all.
We'll get out of your hair.
No, you have to stay.
We gotta go build that building.
60 days to make up.
That's gonna be our excuse for us. Thank y'all. Y'all have our numbers, any questions y'all got. Thank
You know where I am.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
All right, fourth, consider pool rental discount for the teacher party. Darren Hughes, is Darren here? Or anybody sure?
No, sir, but I'm here on
Okay.
his behalf.
Okay, good deal, thank you.
My name is Mary Ann Leal, and I'm with Snyder High School. And we were asking the court today for permission and hopefully either a discount in the use of the city pool or even just waive the fee. Campus culture is something that we are working extremely hard to produce at our local high school. We've had a great turnover throughout the years. And one of the things that we want to bring to the table this academic school year coming up is cohesiveness of support, introduction of meeting our new incoming staff, and welcoming them to Snyder High School and our community in which they will be living and they're moving to. And so what we wanted to do is make it a family-friendly event at the local pool, and just where our new staff doesn't have to worry about getting a sitter and wondering what they're gonna do with their children and whatnot. And so we were hoping to do this and provide them with just a meet and greet and give them all the tools that they need to be successful this academic school year and just make Snyder feel like home for them. And so with how our calendar runs with the school district, we don't have any funds set aside for this. And so is the reason for the request. Our calendar year and our budget does not open until September 1st. But with the school year starting in August, we wanted to do this right before school starts when NTO takes place. So on behalf of Snyder High School and the Campus Culture Committee, we would kindly request either a discount for the use of the city pool or a waived fee if even possible.
What date did you say?
This would be for August the 3rd, which would be a Sunday, and the use would be from 5 p.m. to 7. And this is not only just our incoming staff, but also our current staff. We just want to, at the high school, it's a different beast compared to our other campuses, and so we just want our incoming educators to get to know everyone in every single hallway, in every single building, and just get the sense of family. And so that is our request for the day.
Thank you. You don't have any questions?
This is just for the high school?
Yes, sir.
My only issue is nobody else gets discount. I mean, I understand what she's saying, but, you know, somebody has a birthday party or whatnot. But just my thought.
So,
This would be a little different in that it's a governmental, you know, cross-governmental properties, you know. It's not like individuals.
so the pool is $150 an hour. August 3rd, that Sunday is the last day that the pool is open for the year. And so that would be the last slot for the day.
Do we know if it's already been taken or
It has not.
we still gonna have to have lifeguards there
Yes,
and we'll have to pay them?
yes, and that's included in that rate.
Dan, do you mind if I add one little thing?
Sure.
I just wanted everyone to be aware that our kickoff event this year at the library for our summer reading program, Snyder ISD sponsored the entire kickoff, and it was amazing. And they contacted me, and it was a gift to the community, and I just wanted to add that y'all know that.
We all right?
I just think because we don't have an interlocal agreement for that particular thing, but I think that they do help in a lot of ways. And I think we should at least, maybe 50% or even the whole amount. But, I mean, that's my thoughts. I think maybe they pay for the lifeguards and if anything.
Second.
Discussion.
I think that's fair.
You're saying pay for let them have the facility, but they pay for the lifeguards.
Okay.
And you have a second.
Mhm.
Okay, all in favor?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we
I have a question. How do we figure that out in billing purposes? If you're gonna pay,
How many lifeguards per, I'll find out how many lifeguards there are and, or how many required.
You'd almost have to know how many people.
We're
you-
estimating, we're estimating plus or minus 85.
Okay.
And then I can do an official invite and get a total head count to you prior to.
Okay. I'll get that information and we'll get that to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Eric.
All right, consider changes to the library parking lot. So Amy had a great idea.
Amy's husband had a great idea.
Change up the parking at the library to where you can get more parking spaces. And if you look at that, you can see that the way people currently park is parallel on both sides. There are two options, and I'll let Amy kind of dig into this too, but all entrance from the west or
And we can always go from the other end and move the book drop over. I got to looking this morning and logistics wise, however it would work best.
Right.
I don't know that it might be better if the entrance was off of College. You see, entrance in that end
Over here.
instead of off of Avenue T.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, the logistics, but if any of y'all have ever driven by whenever I'm having one of my events, there's people parking in fields and we're trying to eliminate some of that because, I mean, there's not a whole lot of parking anyway, but if we had stripes to where there was actual parking, we could at least get more into the actual parking lot. And it doesn't make any sense to me where our handicap parking is. Because our ramp is right there, but the handicap is way down by the tree. And so it's like, to me, the handicap needs to be right out the ramp. So anyway, but yeah, that's what I'm wanting to do. To try to help with the parking.
Straight, be better,
Straight.
Instead of angles.
instead of angle. Where is the handicap thing?
Currently,
Where's the ramp?
right here on the end. Is there,
But there's a ramp that comes off of out the front door.
okay,
But then, I mean, down at the end, there's a little ramp at the very end down here.
that's
And
considered the handicap ramp.
Yeah, and it's like-
There may be a ramp right in the middle.
There's not any off of the curb, except for that one down there.
Okay. So we would basically need to do the same thing at the library that we're looking at doing at Annex. And so when I put this together, I looked up, I didn't look at straight in parking because of the distance. There's 11 feet, 6 inches. If you have the parking spaces, the handicap parking spaces, the way they're supposed to be, which is 24 foot by 15 foot, 24 foot long, 15 foot wide, that gives space for people to be able to get in and out of their doors with their wheelchairs and whatnot. So that's why I was looking at the angled. Those spaces, you'd get 19 spaces and you can get up to 5, which the minimum would be 2 based on amount of parking there. So if it's up to 25 for one, anything over 25 is 2, but as many as I think we get there, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have 5 right along across the front there. Then you could add 3 parallel behind it, and then I think it was 15, 16 across that side.
So if you angle them, they come off of Avenue T, right?
Well, I mean, and if it made
Yeah,
more sense to come off of College,
See, I
then
think-
we could always reposition where the book drop is. We could actually put the book drop on the other side of the parking lot.
The only issue is gonna be what ADA requires
Right.
as far as which way you
Right,
can park
and
there.
that's, and we can make it work
But it's
either way.
the passenger side has to be at the curb.
Okay, so then that, yeah, whatever we need to do.
So that would look more like this,
Mhm.
where everybody comes in off of Avenue T and pulls in and then can pull out there. Instead of cross traffic.
Right.
There's not enough
No,
space for
mm-mm.
cross traffic.
Mhm.
So, and the parks guys are using the line sprayer for the parking lot where the fireplace is out there. And they are aware that this may be coming up to do, so they would be able to stripe that as well. They're using the city's line stripe. They didn't say that.
So that's coming off Avenue T, correct?
Yeah, you'd come off Avenue T and come in this way.
So I would need signage, you know,
Yeah.
for,
Entrance only, exit only.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then the way I laid that out, I don't know that you'd have to move, people wouldn't be able to just drive up to the book drop
Mhm.
anymore. They'd have to get out and walk over to it.
Right.
But it leaves space for people to be able to get to the book drop.
Right.
And still have that ramp right there. Are you okay with that?
I'm fine, yeah, I'm fine with that. Cause I mean, the book drop is mostly just utilized like on the weekends and at night. And really, we usually don't have many that utilize it during the day.
Right.
So if you do it, angle like that off Avenue T, the handicap has got plenty of room, or you need to check on that.
No, there's plenty of room. This is, don't look at the top where they're angled the other way, just look at the handicap spaces. These are, you could put 5 spaces along here, leaving space for people to come up the middle, and it leaves the ramp right there. Or if you wanted to spread it out, you could just do 4 spaces there. 5 is way more than is required by law for ADA with this amount of parking. But we could lay it out and see what it looks like before striping it.
Good idea.
That's good. I think it's a good idea too.
Which one? Angle coming off Avenue T,
Oh, absolutely.
say,
That puts your ADA on passenger side at the library door.
And that would keep us from having to move the book drop.
Yeah, which may.
That book drop's very old. I'm scared if we tried to move it.
Do you want 4 or 5?
I would say just whatever whatever it lays out to. You go out there and measuring, lay it out, whatever it falls to as far as ADA. We're well above, either 4 or 5, it's gonna be well above required.
I've always felt like 1 was not enough. Because we have elderly, several, that still come in and get books, and there's times that, most of the time they don't park down there because it's closer over here.
I'll make a motion, I'm gonna second Terry, you go first.
We want to also include getting the court to do the ADA ramp right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
So that,
And bring that quote back at the next regular session.
I'm gonna approve it.
so that your motion and your second and all in favor.
I'm confused too.
So,
Just joking.
all right, thank you, Amy.
Thank you so much.
All right, court discuss applying for HAVA grant. This is,
Yes.
we did this 5 years ago in 2020, and that's the CARES Act at that time. And now it's, and it's funding activities that you're gonna do is paper audit trail required, security of voted ballots, security of election rating property,
Going back to paper back.
and where's the resolution? There's the resolution. We have a resolution that just says that we're gonna do, I misspelled technology in there. Enhance election technology and make election security improvements.
Which is basically moving, once we get over to the EMS training side, we'll be moving our machines closer to that office, moving the cameras and then the, internet lines, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the fiber.
Yes, the fiber.
This, voting has to have its own fiber line, so, we could include, moving the cameras to where they're covering the voting machines, which is about $3,200, and then, including a new fiber line.
I'll make the motion, we allow $4 to apply with the Evergrande.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
And I'll fix this resolution and put it in one of your boxes and you can sign it and pass it on to the next.
Add 4 to precinct 4.
Add 4. Did I miss it? Okay, thank you. You're just precinct? Okay. I'll get that figured out.
Can't change it, you just put it around.
About time where he's gonna sign anyway.
Yeah. I hit waiting for him to get some ground. It's gonna be in my box now.
Okay, court to conduct a public hearing on the designation of a reinvestment zone on approximately 10,500 acres located in the northeast portion of Scurry County and to be known as the Cedar Draw Reinvestment Zone Number 1. Reinvestment zone will encompass the property ECRC Ranch LLC and Eddie Jess Ike. And they said they will be using about 2,500 acres initially for the solar and batteries, and it's up in the northeast portion of the county. Is there any discussion in this public hearing on that? They anticipate constructing 450 megawatt utility scale single axis tracker photovoltaic facility designed to use solar power to generate electricity. And the improvements would be over $450 million. And they anticipate coming at the end of July, 1st of August to the posting payment. No discussion? No thoughts from the public?
You're asking for thoughts from the public?
Mhm.
Is this going to be the whole entire 10,000 acres is solar? Is that what I understood?
They're starting.
They're using the solar powered energy for what? What are
Put into
they?
the grid.
Well, no, I meant, is it going to source anything else? If you're only asking, and they're only doing 2,500 acres, but they're asking for the reinvestment zone on 10,000 acres. That's what I
Potential.
meant.
Potential growth of
For
the
solar farm?
Yeah.
Of solar.
That's my understanding.
That and data centers,
Yeah, potentially data centers as well.
which they would provide electricity for.
Right.
Which would be great.
Yes. Okay, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. All right, and court to consider designation of a reinvestment zone on approximately 10,500 acres located in the northwest portion of Scurry County and to be known as the Cedar Draw Reinvestment Zone Number 1.
I'll make a motion, we approve the reinvestment zone of approximately 10,500 acres, known as Cedar Drop, reinvestment zone number 1.
Second.
All in favor? All right, court to consider changes to abatement agreement. We'll do the road use agreement. When going through the abatement agreement, I did find one area that is required by law, but I didn't see it in our last one. Somehow it got dropped out. It was in our previous ones, and I think someone dropped it out somewhere in there. I'm not saying we did. So it's whereas owner has not yet begun construction of the improvements, has not placed any eligible property in the reinvestment zone, and has not received any abatement. That is required by law, so we'll make sure that that was in there and understood. Everything green highlighted is just what will change for that specific abatement. It's just dates and who the developer is, the megawatts, the amount per megawatt. And then G was added in discussions recently as additional consideration. Owner agrees to be bound by the road use agreement attached hereto as if set out fully herein. Any default in the road use agreement shall be considered a default hereunder with all remedies allowed by this tax abatement agreement, including but not limited to the recapture provisions contained herein. It ties it to the road use agreement, and the road use agreement has similar language. Those are the only two changes in the abatement. I would entertain a motion if you agree to those, or we can have further discussion.
Judge, I make a motion, we approve the changes to the abatement agreement as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. And now we'll discuss the road use agreement. Now, we did all of this just recently, but I wanted to bring it back and make sure that you'll fully know what everything that's in there. In number 4, representatives shall notify the commissioner and allow the commissioner to repair the damaged roads with compensation from the developer for the damages. If sufficient damages as determined by the commissioner is done, that the road needs to be rehabilitated, the developer will compensate Scurry County in that precinct for the rehabilitation. The county commissioner shall be notified of any significant damages within a reasonable time. If the damages occur, the commissioner shall provide a damage assessment and cost to developer. In number 5, adding the developer shall provide a method such as GoPro to videotape and otherwise document all relevant present conditions. Number 7, once the project is completed, the developer shall make a one-time lump sum payment to the county based on the total estimated cost as set forth in the remediation schedule, in which event the county shall, and this is where you were having concern about not being able or not having the time to do it, or with the county shall contract with a qualified contractor for the completion of the items set forth in the schedule or perform the remediation work itself. Once a lump sum payment has been made to the county, developer shall be released from all obligations and liabilities in connection with this agreement upon receipt of payment by the county.
Guys, go back up.
That one?
To the GoPro.
Okay.
Mike, or don't we need to have, that need to be time stamped and dated on there?
It will help, but if, what we've always discussed is that the developer and the commissioner do that together. So the time, date, and stamp will be the commissioner on this date we went. But yes, I mean, we can add that language, that it's time stated and stamped. You know, it's stamped.
Got the date and time on it.
Yeah. We can add that in there if you want to, but the thought process always was that the commissioner would go, or a commissioner's representative would be there with them, so that there's no discrepancy on what day we went. These were the conditions, and both parties can testify. The GoPro shows the conditions as they existed on date X.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that's been done in the past with you guys, but that needs to be done. There needs to be a county representative there.
Yeah, so in number 2, In number 2, prior to the commencement of the project, county's representatives, which shall include the county commissioner and such other individuals as the county may designate, and a representative of the developer shall perform visual inspection and assessment of the county roads to be utilized in the project. And the developer shall provide a method such as GoPro to videotape. I didn't highlight that area, but that was added, and otherwise document all relevant present conditions. So it's in there that the commissioner and the developer will go and do a visual inspection.
Well, I just think the time date's important because when they did the last the project before this, I wasn't in office. When they started the project, I was in office when they completed it. So I have no record of what they did prior. Yeah, I didn't have any either. I was in office.
We could also add a provision that says, where they videotape or document and provide copy to the county upon completion.
I agree.
You really need to be, you really have to, whenever they start saying they're starting their project and they start setting up office buildings, you just gotta go out there and knock on their doors. Because they have so many lieutenants. It's unbelievable.
And they change.
You say, I wanna talk to the guy in charge. Well, there's 15 of them. They're in charge and different things, and
they
it's very
change.
impossible. Yeah, they change all the time.
Too many chiefs, no Indians.
And so I just always, I knock on their doors and let them know I'm here. And some of them will actually contact you early and say, we're gonna be here doing these things and we wanna meet with you. And some of them are really good about that, some are not.
All right, so we'll include timestamp and date, or time and date in both 2 and 4, and provide a copy upon completion to commissioner. All right, y'all good with it with those changes?
Then to make a motion to approve the road use agreement changes as presented.
Thank you.
All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't go over everything. Any default under this RUA can and shall be used, considered a default under the tax abatement agreement attached here to, and a performance bond of at least $1 million provided to the county. And include the county as party prior to starting the project. And then further down, I included where when we fill it out, we put the precinct commissioner phone number, email address, and this is gonna be on PDF. It's a drop down menu. You just click on which one it is. Good. Okay. Consider beginning process of creating ordinances to limit or enforcement of game rooms in county. This came up recently after the stings on the other game rooms.
Yeah, we assisted them in shutting them down, and, which is great in my opinion, but we've had one pop up in the county. So, and my understanding is we can't ban them, but I think at the very least, we need to implement on the licensing and I think that there's some kind of fees that you can, and I haven't researched it, I mean, I haven't had no reason to, but on each game itself, I know the city does something like that, but there's an initial licensing fee. I think we need to look at least doing that, because they're just out there doing it now. They ain't paid a dime. They just went out there and opened it up and operated. So I'm gonna have my people in there all the time. I can tell you that right now, doing what we can do, and but there's just no regulation, and I don't know, Mike, I don't know what's your opinion, what we need to do to proceed.
You may not agree with it, but having done it with the city for so many years, the city has had theirs for about 10 years, I think, in place, and they go in and they never catch them doing anything, obviously, because they don't do anything illegal when the officers are in there. So I think they've made a little money off of it, but it hasn't stopped the illegal activity.
Yeah.
I will say before, if you decide you want to, and the court decides they want to, the implementation and the regulation on who who receives the money, how they receive the money is onerous under that regulation statute. So as I know the judge has a couple of examples on the agenda packet. I've looked at them. I've looked at some from other counties. I don't know are you gonna appoint a deputy to enforce them? Who's gonna receive the money? Who's gonna go in and count the machines? Who's gonna do the accounting procedure for all that? I'm not against the regulation. I'm just saying it's onerous and I don't know where we're gonna get the manpower to do it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't have any real issue with the regulations. I will say from the city's perspective and what I've seen, it doesn't stop the illegal activity.
No, and it's not, you're right, it's not gonna stop that.
No, and if they're operating legally, the game room itself is gonna go out of business. Nobody goes in there to win fuzzy prizes, right? If they stay in business, then that's a pretty good indication they're not operating legally, but we still can't shut them down until we catch them operating,
Well,
which is the problem.
and what we would do is the same as the city. Just conduct a UC operation and go and have it paid out in cash, because that's exactly what they do. It's what every one of them do. It's how they operate, it's how they make money. And then we can go in and do exactly what the city did. We can enforce, we can shut it down and enforce it. So, that part of it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you want to do that before the court votes on it, we really need to go through those regulations because they are onerous and they're semi-set by statute. The court can set the fines and the fees, et cetera, within reason, but the enforcement of the statute and of the rules and regulations are onerous.
Okay.
And you're right, we cannot prevent them from coming. We can just.
And that's fine. I think we need to address it before we don't want to get blindsided with this and look up one day, there's 15 of them out in the county. I think that's coming, honestly, because they don't want to be in the city, which I want to be in that boat where we can enforce it out in the county. And I'm not saying we can't, I know we can't, but, I would highly like to discourage that from happening.
On the flip side of that is we can't enforce against those that are already in existence, so they're grandfathered. So if you think more are coming, you'd rather do that sooner than later.
Right.
So that they're all contained under.
Well, I just feel like we need to get that on the radar. We need to get to discussing it and figure out what path we want to take and start that process. Yeah, like you said, sooner than later, so.
If they do a county ordinance of permits, yearly permits, like what Lubbock County kind of has to do, the ones existing or grandfathered in.
I don't know, I'll have to look.
I know they have a huge fee, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think for the license, it's 20,000 or something like that they have to pay is that right?
I don't remember on the cities.
It was pretty big.
And then there was $500 per machine.
Per machine,
something like that. But they all have to have identifying stamps on them and I don't know where we're gonna get the manpower to do that.
That's the part where you're talking about.
Yeah, that, going in and checking.
Enforcing that. Yes, I got you.
That's the difficulty.
So the city, theirs is $2,500 for the annual license and $500 per machine.
500 per machine?
Yeah. Okay. And then you said one of them.
I think one of these said 10,000 for his license.
Yeah, well, I knew there was a big
10,000 somewhere.
I think that was Harrison County, maybe. I saw that too. I thought it was a tad high, but I haven't looked at the statute in a couple of weeks. So.
Well, if you said it at that high one, that's gonna discourage them from.
Yeah, you can do that, can you not?
You said it, yeah, you said.
Wherever you want to set it.
Well, I think the
Oh, with
statute
that
has a
region.
limit,
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is.
Right. I'm with you.
I will tell you that when I was over there at the city, they would come in and apply and they'd bring in $25,000 cash, $20 bills, and count it out to you.
Yeah.
It's a
wreck.
Well, it's just a pure cash business.
It is. They seized 94,000 during those things, cash money the other day. That's what they got.
Oh, that was a violation.
Regardless, yes, we can, the second thing comes to enforcement, okay, if they are in violation, somebody's gonna have to be out there writing citations. Somebody's gonna have to prosecute the citations. And that's what I'm saying, logistically, we just need to figure out, is this something that Are we just gonna put it in writing and then ignore it, or are we gonna actually enforce it, and who's going to do that? I know you're covered up, I know I'm covered up.
Angela.
We got Hannah. Hannah can take care of it.
Why are y'all looking for me?
Precinct gets that.
Well, we get, I
You can have it.
don't know how
I took
to,
some of
how
your
we need to word it, but
Well, I would encourage the commissioner, if it's something that you want to do personally, I would encourage you to look at the examples that the judges included in the packet, so you'll have an understanding of what we're going to have to do if you vote to do it. And those examples are pretty well standard throughout the state from everything
Yeah.
I've seen.
Pretty much follow the state law, don't
Yeah, then right. And so, but for instance, we can't say you can't put one within 50 miles of a residence because that effectively outlaws them. You can't do that, unfortunately. And back to your question, I don't know that we can charge the ones already in existence because of ex post facto, and it would be a taking under the Real Property Preservation Acts. We'd have to do a takings assessment, the county would, and see if it devalues their land because of this regulation, and it's a mess. So my thought would be if they came in before, we grandfather them in and just start fresh.
That doesn't mean you can't go and make sure they're following the law.
Right.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Permit or no permit, they can operate all day long if they want to, as long as they follow the law. If they don't, and we
Yeah.
catch them, then we can do something about it. Catching them is the difficult part.
Can you, I know most of them have darkened windows. Can you regulate that? Where you can look through the window and see what they're doing?
I don't believe so in that statute, but I'd have to go back.
I thought it was in there,
Is it?
where they cannot have them
I
blacked
think one
out.
of the ordinances we
Okay.
looked at
And maybe it is part of an ordinance, Lubbock.
in Lubbock is that they could not have the windows obscured.
I
Well,
mean,
we're
that's the reason they're doing it.
not
I don't know.
following that one.
Yeah,
Better
yeah.
not say.
Yeah,
But that's why we were discussing it. That's probably implemented specifically by Lubbock County Commissioners. I'm betting it's probably not part of the state law as much as it is part of their county ordinance.
Yeah.
You know, open to law enforcement at any time, that sort of thing. I think that's in the cities.
I think it's in there as well.
Usually when you turn the light on, the roaches run out.
Yeah.
I mean, you did on.
That's what he heard.
And I will tell you, from the last raid, those of you that haven't been in one, it looks like a miniature casino, these last ones. The games are nice. They're not the cheap games that we've seen before. They are Las Vegas style, full panel games. It just looks like a miniature casino. The problem is catching them paying out cash.
So is this something you, as a court, want to continue to investigate and bring something back? A full plan on enforcement and policy or an ordinance?
need to find out what we can do, what we can't do.
And is the sheriff's office even have the personnel?
I will make time. I don't
Make it
want,
work.
I don't want them in the county.
Good, thank you. I'm out there with me, I know that.
We will.
So my suggestion would be get the sheriff to look over those couple of examples that we have, and then out of those examples, add or subtract what you think you might be able to enforce, what you might not be able to, and then we'll have a, for lack of a better term, a checklist. And then we can come back and revisit and see what the county wants to regulate, start putting dollar figures in these spots for machines, for locations, et cetera.
Okay.
Before we craft something, let's look at it and see what you want in it first, Sheriff.
Okay.
I know at one time, the bingo folks put out something that supposed to be able to help you with these people. Do you remember that?
It's been a long time
Yeah,
ago,
it has been, probably 10 years.
but probably about the same time
Probably.
as this ordinance,
Yeah.
of these ordinances.
Probably changed since then. They were having luck.
Of course, they didn't want them, because these guys are in competition with them, so they certainly were coming up with some ideas of how to regulate.
We need a vote on that at all? Or just?
I just table it till Trey has a chance to look at what we want to do, and I don't mind sitting down with you, Trey, and going through them. And like you, I don't understand why Lubbock has a strip out there, like the Vegas Strip, even though they're not operating legally,
No.
they can't be in the same business, but it may be a case of they can't catch them.
Right.
Could be. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to consider whether to allow or limit fishing at the golf course pond. Bill?
Thank y'all, first of all. Apparently this happens every year. There's 2 ponds out at the golf course that you guys know. And in the evenings, people want to come out there and fish. Well, then the golfers say there's no fishing. But there really is not a no fishing policy. Apparently there used to be a no fishing policy, and that's what they're referring to, but there's not a no fishing policy. So I'm just looking for some clarity on this. My worry is somebody get hit by a golf ball. There's really not a single safe place you can go. The golfers aren't that good.
I wonder if any are watching.
Probably.
Some of them are in here.
But at the same time, you get hit, and then the fish, I presume, maybe Sid can back me up on this, the amount of chemicals get used for the water, they're not healthy to eat either. And just looking for direction there. It is public property, but they're gonna come out there in the evenings, and then another thing, one group gets lippy with the other group, and we could have a bad situation there.
Yeah.
So they'll make the motion that we do not allow fishing at the golf course.
Legality standpoint.
Liability.
Yeah, we can ban it if you want, the court can say.
Do I need signs that say by order of?
I would put on some, yes.
Why we do?
Have a motion and a second, all in favor.
And they can hit the signs instead of the fishermen.
And we do have another area where people can fish out at the trails.
Okay, thank you.
All right, consider approval of specs for replacing concrete cart paths at golf course and go out for bids, set date to open bids. You sent that to me, Sid, and I don't know if I put that on here. I did, yes. So total square feet of replacing of concrete cart paths that need to be replaced is 5,225. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
That's linear?
Square feet, yeah. So there's 12 different spots that would need to be replaced. My thought is that the cost of replacing that concrete would be less if we removed the old concrete. Don't know where it would be put, but it's something that we could figure out. So, they do have the funds in their budget to do some cart paths.
I don't think
And
we
that
have
was-
enough to do it all.
No, and that was something that we did put in the budget for this year. But probably gonna be more than 50,000, possibly.
Yes.
So to be safe, go out for bids.
We wouldn't replace those cart paths with millings like we've done in the past? Are the millings holding up? Is it?
The millings are holding up, but you'd just be going from concrete to millings back to concrete. And just from what we've seen, the overspray of the oil, it just doesn't look that good on concrete.
Yeah.
I mean, if we slowly start redoing the whole strip of concrete to back to millings,
Yeah,
that is a way to go where it's all.
just all milling.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, was just getting rid of all the concrete.
It's a lot of concrete though.
That's gonna be a lot of money. I mean,
This is the cheaper route to do.
the older concrete is going to continue to deteriorate and it won't, I mean, what kind of shape is the rest of it?
Most of the concrete's in good shape. There's probably one area on number 2 where we had to drive on it a bunch of times with big machinery, where it probably needs to go millings. And it is a part of that, square footage. I'd have to look up, see what area it is, but it would be easy to do. It'd be right there by the entrance. It'd be easy to do in millings.
Okay. Well, you've got the money. You think it'll work, so I make a motion we allow the golf course to go out for bids to replace concrete
When do you want
pads and open it at the regular session. They're gonna have to have some time.
Yeah.
The first meeting in August. That be long enough?
August 5th is the first meeting in August.
Second.
Hadn't heard of them. And,
All in favor?
yeah,
Sounds good.
watching the tennis match here.
Thing, that is
Pickleball.
all we got for y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had one more question. Does anyone have a spot to put the concrete?
I got some marshes, we're putting it in. Feel busted up.
You busted up.
Well, a lot of it is already pretty busted up.
He was hoping you'd come and get it.
Does it have any rebar in it?
Some of it's gonna have rebar.
No, I mean, used for it.
Can I bury it?
We put it in marshes, I got some marshes.
Not with rebar in it.
Okay.
We got caught on that already. It's been sticking above the ground when they see it. Ouch.
Is that gonna affect if I put it in marshes, the rebar?
Well, I don't know. We put it out there at the airport and we took every bit of it out. It was showing, it was caught because dump trucks were going back and forth out there from the pool. And it caused a dust storm and people got mad and called TCEQ and TCEQ come and look and there's rebar sticking up above the ground. We
Okay.
dug it all up.
Never mind.
I mean, it's broken pretty much, so possibly could get the rebar out of it. I don't know. I don't know how difficult it would be. If it's crumbling, it would be that hard.
Right.
Just have to look at it.
Not all of it has rebar though, right?
It's been done by so many different people. Some has had rebar, some hasn't.
Right. Okay. I can talk to city manager about landfill possibly.
Well, they were taking some of it when they were doing their shooting range, so.
We can take it to the landfill.
Yeah.
At no cost.
Right. Okay. We'll look into that. Thank you. All right, health insurance mid-year review, and I know it has my name on it, but I'm gonna ask Misty to help me out with this on some of it. We are better off than we were last year. There's the one.
And we've been on a downward, a good trend. So that is a positive. That's really helped us.
Right, so our loss ratio
Yes.
from in 22, 23, and I know it's sideways, I apologize for that, was 95% or 95, nearly 96%. 23 to 24 was 81%. This year it's 76, 77%. So it's trending down. And the reason for that is some of our big claimants have come off. What they're seeing a trend in is more medications than big claims. Dental loss went down as well. So basically what it comes down to is they're talking about a 3.5% increase. they laughed at me if I ever said it would decrease. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was a good question, but, top chronic conditions. I know it's sideways. I wish I could change it, but I know I might be.
It's gonna decrease. President Trump says it's gonna be 10 times cheaper.
Yeah.
Been paying it and now everybody's gonna pay it.
Yeah, we're working on that.
I hope that
Medications.
works. Yes, sir.
So, chronic conditions is gonna be, the highest is, what is CAD?
I can't remember what she said it was.
Yeah, hypertension is,
I think so. It was hypertension, our hearts, our COPD, those medications, those are better. There was a lot of degenerate or whatever that word is.
degenerative.
Yes, degenerate. They're horrible.
We have a lot of degenerates.
That really caused the fluctuation a couple of years ago, but those are coming off because they're now able to do things with medication. Sorry. My iPad doesn't work.
Top 10 medications, anti-diabetics, targeted something modulators, multiple sclerosis agents, endocrine and metabolic agents. So, and like you said, hopefully those all come down as far as medication costs. Preventative practice, annual physicals, we need to get that number up if we can. And some of that is been a coding issue, is what she said. The
Yes.
doctors will code it the wrong way. So they can charge for other things. You go in for a physical and you ask about something else and they're gonna charge you for that and change the code for that. So it doesn't get coded as a preventative.
Well, that also goes into our commissioners and our department heads pushing the physicals.
Right.
And the healthy county stuff. That really helps the county. We need to push that. Getting their physical, we get some funds back on that. Like it shows that we're trying with the program, and that means if we're involved in the program, that's gonna help us in cost too. I mean, if we're just living life and not really, life happens, well, then we're gonna keep seeing increases. And we're kind of blessed this year that it is only 3.5 and that we have had such a good year following up to that with our decreases.
CAD is coronary artery disease.
Thank you, yes.
I think Lisa would have known that.
I did.
I wasn't asked.
I didn't look up and see you still back
Yeah, it was
there.
like, yeah.
So, we're trending in the right direction. Still some work that needs to be done, but you all have this report and you can absolutely take a look at it if you would. If you download it and rotate it, it'll work out better. I didn't do that. All right, court to consider quote for ADA ramp at the annex.
This is the estimate. Latest construction. You got one, I sent you one, didn't you? This is for putting a ramp in the middle at the annex, having 2 handicap parking spots and also automatic doors. The doors that are there will be the doors that they use. There won't be new doors. They'll just have the automatic to it.
Is it where you can push a button and it opens up?
And now, that is the bid that I received.
We include painting the handicap stuff. If not, that's okay because we've got that striper.
I'd say no.
Okay. Because y'all are gonna redo that parking lot. anyway,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna, once I get it done, we'll try and be quick enough because you're fixing to middle up that parking lot and redo it. We'll work it out, but it does need watering process, chip seal. So, Anyway, that's the big timeline I don't have, but I can find out. But I mean, Dan had it up on the screen last time we talked about it. And that ramp being all the way to the end. You know, so you have to put somebody in a wheelchair. Well,
They don't need that much exercise.
and then when they get there, they can open the door and push the wheelchair in, so. But anyway. That is the deal I will present to you, so.
I make a motion to accept the bid from Davis Construction for ADA ramp with annex.
Second. All in favor?
What funds are we paying for this one? 29?
29.
Yeah, that's what we.
That's what we discussed, but,
My reports are not running correctly and they are working behind the scenes, but I did not feel like I should enter those into the court because
Absolutely.
there's stuff going on and I'm like, that's just not right.
Okay.
So they're working on them. So hopefully we will get those taken care of as soon as possible.
And then approval of county auditors, May 2025 financial report, which is online.
mine is on the website.
Make a motion to approve the county auditors in May 2025 monthly financial report.
Second.
All in favor? Approval of line item transfers and budget amendments.
There are a few. There's 2 line item transfers. The first one is precinct 2, capital outlay, $32,500 out of lease rentals. Purchase gooseneck trailer to carry skid steer, tree saw, grapple bucket, and mulcher. The next one is precinct 4, tire and tubes, $5,000 out of road material and construction. Cost of tire repair and replacement has gone up. Those. And there are 3 budget amendments. There's the county attorney and the district attorney, both of them for $175,000, both going into their SB 22 salary lines. These were the funds that were received for the SB 22, and I'm just putting them into the budget lines. And then this one is HAVA funds from Fund 45, the security election grant that we received in 2020, what wasn't expended out, they're pulling back, so $37,532.22. Budget amendment to pay that back.
Does it make a motion to approve the line item transfers and budget amendments as presented?
Second.
All in favor? Approval of accounts payable.
Accounts payable is $1,699,643.25.
Pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor? All right, we do have an executive session. Is consultation with attorney and pending litigation.
You just put the executive session in there.